Hello?
Hello?
Checkity check. I
can
can't hear anything. Hello, hello? No, don't.
That's me. Where's you?
Yeah. Can't hear anything.
Are they muted still?
Aha! Mute buttons. Always something new being added here technologically here at Battle for the Coast. Hi, everybody. This is Tara Armoff.
And this is Samba Cherry Bomb.
And we are in the midst, or just at the beginning, of Richmond Wrecking Bells going up against Silicon Valley Kilobytes. And it looks like first blood has been drawn by the Richmond Wrecking Bells. They are on the board with 3 points to Silicon's 0.
So this is our second jam of this little mini bout here between the two teams. Let's see what happens.
Silicon Valley playing back-to-back little mini games today. They and SFV have been doing that in this first group this morning, and there will be a couple of teams in the afternoon group that will be going through the same thing. So it's almost like they're playing a whole bout, or a whole game, excuse me.
Richmond Wrecking Bells taking out Silicon Valley's jammer. Forced back in at the back of the pack, still struggling to get through. She's not made her initial pass.
Yes, that's Scaitlin for the Richmond Wrecking Bells. Going through for 1 5-point pass coming up. Going to see if she can get another one. Gets pushed to the outside by number 74, Patty Hurst. Having to reset behind.
Alicia Moore still fighting her way through the pack. Can't seem to get past the Richmond Wrecking Bells line of defense.
Liza Machete going back to make Alicia Moore more miserable, I guess. Scaitlin getting hit to the inside, resets in the back, decides to call it off in a nice casual manner.
Well, Battle for the Coast wouldn't be possible without our sponsors, so we'd like to give a shout out here to the West End Gallery. That's VCDD's own Titty Kitty is an artist there. And the West End Gallery is an all-female owned and operated shop dedicated to custom tattooing and piercing at a high creative and safety standard. That's west-ndgallery.com.
And the jam is on. It looks like Silicon Valley getting their first lead jammer status in the form of number 441, Fearless. Number 77, Biggie Brawls, is jamming for Richmond Wrecking Bells. Let's see if she can catch up. Fearless trying to make her way through, looking for some assist, decides to call it off.
Did she score 1 point? Is that what it was, Tara?
Yes. Silicon Valley now on the board with 1 point against Richmond Wrecking Bells 16. We have 16 minutes, 50 seconds on the clock.
To score a point against the Richmond Wrecking Bells, you really, really have to work. So every point is worth a lot.
Richmond Wrecking Bells ranked seeded number 2 for this tournament. They have won every game that they have been in today so far. Looks like we'll see if they'll be able to come out undefeated in their morning group. And
it looks like they're having a uniform change on the line.
Having an instant uniform change so we can tell which team is which easier. So Bay Area switching from navy blue to yellow for more contrast. This is awesome. And
I don't think I've ever seen this happen. Well, for all of you who are not able to see this, it was pretty amazing. The team it was choreographed in a routine. Everyone took their shirt off at the same time, and everyone put it back on at the same time.
What I am impressed with, I do not see this very often, is that the Wrecking Bells have reversible jerseys. So they were able to do their uniform change that quickly within 5 seconds of being told. It's like we can't tell who anybody is by the refs.
It was like Broadway meets Derby. Costume change.
Jazz hands. Silicon Valley's Jammer getting out of the pack. That is number 125, Adrenaline Crush. However, Scrappy, the Jammer for the Richmond Wrecking Bells, also out of the pack. Scrappy, she used to live in Southern California. She was with the LA Derby Dolls for a while. And she was with, I can't remember the other league she was with before she came down to LA too. So Scrappy, she's been around for a few years with a few different leagues, has a lot of experience under her belt.
You can tell when she's out there jamming. It looks like that was a 4-point jam. She called it off just in time before Richmond was able to score any points.
That's right. Silicon Valley Kilobytes at 5, Richmond Wrecking Bells 19, 16 minutes left in the game. Demand a Riot on the jammer line, taking the outside, getting out as lead jammer for the Richmond Wrecking Bells.
And
trying to see who the Silicon jammer is, but she's behind a thick wall of yellow. Demand a Riot getting through for 5 points because she got the jammer point for Alicia Moore. Alicia Moore does make it out of the pack for her initial pass, but Demand a Riot on her second scoring pass.
You know, I love the way Demanda calls off a jam. She does that low lean back, and she hits the back of her hips real quick. It's really stylized. It's the Demanda call off.
She has mad style, must say.
Well, speaking of mad style, make sure to check out Wicked Skatewear. That's wickedskatewear.com, and there's a lot of mad derby style available on that website.
They have all the fun things. B-Train and Strychnine definitely know how to have fun with derby and keeping you looking good with great equipment at great prices. Check them out. Wow, nice job by Skatelyn, just coming up on the outside, out and lead jammer for the Richmond Wrecking Bells.
Looks like Fearless is on her heels. Curious to see how this jam's going to play out. Oh, Skatelyn calls it right before Fearless can get to the pack.
That was a scoreless jam. The score stays at 5 for Silicon Valley, 28 for the Richmond Wrecking Bells. Looks like Adrenaline Crush back on the jammer line for Silicon Valley. And I'm trying to see who is crouched behind the referees here for the Wrecking
It looks
Bells.
like number 77, Biggie Brawls. Biggie kind of acting as a blocker along with blocker line, but then getting pushed back.
And I liked Adrenaline's Crush approach to that wall. It's like she was very methodical, trying to find that's the tightest little opening, and we see that she takes that inside. Speaking of small openings, getting out and getting lead jammer for Silicon Valley.
It was great seeing her block on her way out to make it through the pack. She hit number 11, Angel Maker from Richmond, and then was able to get right through.
I did not see the call that the Richmond jammer got, but this is now a power jam in favor of Silicon Valley. Yeah, Biggie Brawl sitting in the penalty box for Richmond. I'm surprised to not see a little more offense by Silicon Valley right now, because what they would want to do is keep the Richmond blockers separated out to give their jammer a chance to catch up on those points. Though they do pick up 5 points, so not too bad. Silicon Valley at 10, Richmond at 28.
But you're right, Tara. They could have utilized that power jam to close that point differential by utilizing some other tactics when it came to defense. Let's see how their coach, has them play the rest of this game. Now that we've seen how, Richmond's been setting up their defense, maybe they're going to come in with other strategy as we get further into the...
Scrappy out and lead jammer for Richmond. Coming up on the inside. Wow, literally breaking apart Silicon Valley's defense there. She squeaks through on the inside. She gets 5 points for the Richmond Wrecking Bells. And it looks like Mad Eye Molly, the jammer for Silicon Valley, just not able to get through on her initial pass. Richmond doing an excellent job of recycling back to the front of the pack and walling it up. Scrappy right by on that inside line.
And she made a panty pass to 5150 Unleasha Moore. Unleasha Moore now the jammer for Silicon Valley.
However, Unleasha Moore getting caught, just stopped at a standstill by the Richmond defense. Scrappy making her way through, getting knocked around by a 3-wall in the front. She gets knocked out of bounds and the outside of turn 3, having to reset behind the entire pack. And a back block called on Mad Eye Molly for Silicon Valley. She's going to take a trip to the notorious RED penalty box.
Unleasha Moore still struggling to get past. She can't get past number 9, who just knocked her out.
Yeah, Nina Beretta, she is a brute when it comes to blocking. She's been doing an excellent job for the Richmond Wrecking Bells all morning. And Scrappy's just, oh man, she's just getting all of the points. Another high 5 points for Scrappy and the Richmond Wrecking Bells, opening up quite a lead over Silicon Valley with just over 10 minutes left in this game.
It seems like Unleasha Moore is just given all she's got. She wasn't even skating anymore at the end of that jam. Was that a 24-point jam?
I think it was a 24 million point jam, yes. Because the score is now 10 points for Silicon Valley, 62 for the Richmond Wrecking Bells. And our view of the jammers is obscured by the refs, but oh look, it's Demanda Riot jamming for the Richmond Wrecking Bells, and she's pushing her way through the Silicon defense. She's made it out and is lead jammer.
And Fearless jamming for Silicon, and she's through the pack.
Richmond trying to catch a goat at the back of the pack to slow it down, but Patty Hurst, that attempt at a goat, gets through. Demanda picks up 4 points. She's forced to call it off because Fearless was about to hit the pack and start scoring some points herself.
Demanda is just such a controlled skater. I mean, she just skates through the smallest opening in a wall, you know, and gets those points and calls it right off. That's what these players need to be aware of. Anytime Demanda's jamming, they need to just close up any hole because she's going to hit that outside or that inside if there's any space.
Yeah, I am noticing that Richmond a little bit better at with their blockers, just getting together and getting that wall set up as quickly as possible. Silicon Valley out and lead jammer. That is Adrenaline Crush.
And Skatelyn for the Richmond Wrecking Bells.
Tight 4-wall by Richmond. However, Adrenaline Crush notices that Skatelyn's coming up. She calls it off. However, Skatelyn does score a couple of points on that pass, and Adrenaline Crush only got 3 points.
So, looks like Silicon Valley for the first time is putting out Lee Featherstone as a jammer.
I like how she's standing there with her hands on her hips like, are we going to get this thing going or what? Score is 68-13 in favor of Richmond. Just under 8 minutes left in the game.
And Biggie Brawls jamming for Richmond.
Slow pack. Beginning to split up along team lines with Silicon Valley in the front.
Silicon Valley's defense right now is doing really tight wall, and Biggie is not being able to push through it at all. They keep recycling, holding her back.
Well, in both teams, neither jammer has gotten out. Finally, Biggie's gotten out to get lead jammer status for Richmond, but it's taken like 45 seconds just to get a lead jammer out of this jam.
Well, yeah, they hadn't even made it around the track once. Looks like Lee's finally out.
And it looks like Biggie calls it off. She got 2 points in that jam. Silicon Valley with none. 13 points for Silicon Valley, 70 for the Richmond Wrecking Bells. 6 minutes, 40 seconds left in the game.
We'd like to give a shout out to the Ali'i Group, one of Ventura County's original sponsors, a full-service wholesale promotional product and marketing company. That's aliigroup.com.
Looks like Scrappy back on the jammer line for the Wrecking Bells. She makes it out, gets lead jammer by turn 2.
It's like she just has a running start. She just runs through, and she's always at the pack before the other jammers even made their initial pass. I mean, this time looks like
Alicia Moore, she was a jammer for Silicon Valley. However, did not get around fast enough to score any points. Scrappy got caught up in the pack there, decided to call it off.
Looks like Demanda Riot's on the line for Richmond Wrecking Bells.
And the other jammer has her number covered up by her shirt, so she's a mystery jammer. She's a ninja for Silicon Valley.
Secret ninja jammer.
And that turns out to be Skolina for Silicon Valley. I think this is the first time that I haven't seen Demanda Riot get lead jammer when she is jammed today, but she is making quick work of that pack, but not enough. Skolina through for 4 points for Silicon Valley. Really nice defense by Silicon Valley. They actually were able to hold Demanda in on that pass.
And I believe that was the first jam for Skolina also.
For this game, yes.
Yes.
You are correct. 17-74 is the score in favor of the Richmond Wrecking Bells. 4 minutes, 35 seconds left in this game. This is a really quick game, my goodness.
And it's been a really clean game. We haven't seen too many players be sent to the RED penalty box.
Yeah, it looks like the skaters getting the groove, the way, figuring out how the game is being called. And just as you said that, there are now a bunch of skaters going to the penalty box. Looks like Eliza Machete taking a seat with one of her teammates for the Richmond, and one of the Silicon Valley blockers sitting in the penalty box. Just under 4 minutes left in the game. Looks like the score is 17-78 in favor of Richmond.
Okay, it looks like Silicon Valley has Patty Hurst jamming. I think this is her first jam for this game also.
And back on the line is Scrappy for Richmond. It seems like Silicon Valley, they just played in the previous game, so this is their back-to-back run. It seems like they're getting warmed up.
Definitely. And it seems like they're trying different people in different positions. We see Alicia Moore, she's blocking in this jam, doing a great job keeping back Scrappy, working with her teammates, but Scrappy's just so fast.
Now, Patty Hurst, she has made it out of the pack. She's not lead jammer, obviously. Scrappy picking up 4 points, decides not to risk it, calls it off before Patty can get a chance to score. And again, these point spreads for these games can matter when it comes to figuring out who moves up for tomorrow's full-length game. So Richmond not taking any chances. They're going to try and run up the score as much as possible to get the best point differential that they can.
Really smart strategy. So let's see here how this jam goes. We have Biggie Brawls, number 77, against who is that? 125 from Silicon. Adrenaline Crush.
Nice little transition from Adrenaline Crush. She gets out and gets lead jammer for Silicon Valley. However, Biggie Brawls also on the pack. Adrenaline Crush calling it off just in time, picking up 2 points? 2 points for Silicon Valley to Richmond's 0. That bumps up Silicon's score to 19 to Richmond's 82. 1 minute, 45 seconds left in this game.
You know, there's a lot of really smart playing happening here. I like the way Adrenaline comes in and then calls it off just the right second, right before the opposing jammer can score. Instead of wasting time trying to fight through Richmond's wall, she just gets the point she can and calls it right off.
Demand a Riot jamming for the Richmond Wrecking Bells. One by one, Silicon finding themselves out of play. Demand getting out and getting lead in the straightaway between turns 2 and 3.
Fearless still battling her way through the pack.
Again, really nice resetting by Richmond's blockers. However, Fearless, she's not giving up. And she gets forced out. Comes right back in, trying to get out on that initial pass.
Richmond Wrecking Bells just keep recycling, keep reforming in front of her.
Demand a Riot through for high five. 5 points.
Patty Hearst trying to break up that wall. She pushes out one of the Wrecking Bells. Demanda just takes a whip off her and skates right in through the inside and calls it off.
I like it. It looked like she was going, excuse me,
Yeah.
excuse me, as she gets through
So
and gets
effortless.
those points.
Again, there's that Demanda style. She makes it look like nothing.
All right, I don't know. It doesn't look like anyone's calling a timeout because there is 5 seconds left in the period clock. And so it'll be interesting to see. Oh, nope, that is the game. The unofficial final is 97-19 in favor of Richmond Wrecking Bells. Richmond Wrecking Bells have gone undefeated in their morning run today, so I do believe that this will put them as number one in the morning group. So that means that they will play tomorrow at 11:30. Ooh.
So be sure to tune in if you're a fan of the Richmond Wrecking Bells to see them play. Tara, who do you think they're going to play against?
I don't know. It might be SFV. I guess we will find out for sure after this next game. Now, this next game that is coming up in about 5 minutes will be the last game of this morning group. This morning group that consisted of Richmond, Silicon Valley, SFV, San Fernando Valley, Ventura Vendals, the host league, and Derby Revolution of Bakersfield. The last game of that group will be between Ventura and the Derby Revolution of Baco, and that'll be coming up in about 5 minutes. So we are going to take ourselves a quick little break and tune back in, won't you?